Alright, Jaron Boots Ennis makes his return to the ring. He stops David Avanesyan at the end of the fifth round in... There's no ifs or buts. This was a fairly one-sided fight. It was Jaron Boots Ennis from the get-go. However, I would give massive credit to David Avanesyan because the commentators even said the same. They said coming into this fight on 4 weeks' notice against someone like Boots Ennis, where it's all him. It's the Ennis show. He's in his hometown. It's his first time fighting there in a couple of years. It's his first fight as IBF champion. So it's first fight with Matchroom. So it's a big deal for him. Again, you're coming in on short notice. No one expects you to win this fight. So a lot of people felt, or certainly the commentary team felt, that maybe Avanesyan will go in and look for a way out. Now, whilst I got the fight, pretty much I kind of got the fight I expected. I expected an early night for Boots Ennis. But I've seen enough of David Avanesyan over the years. I've watched many of his fights to know that this guy has no ounce of quit in him. He will keep, even when he's outmatched, he'll keep going. Even when he's maybe not starting well in a fight like he did against Josh Kelly, eventually he will try and get his way into the fight and try and break the opponent down. And he definitely gave his best he could in this fight. He had a little bit of success at times. And when I say a little bit, he was never in this fight. The best he had in this fight was in round 5 before he got dropped. And he was actually, he was winning the round before he got dropped. And then, I'll talk about that now in a sec. But let's just talk about this fight as a whole. So, Boots Ennis going into this fight was meant to be making a mandatory defense against Conor Crowley. And Crowley pulled out. I think something to do with his eyes, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think he failed an eye test or something to do with his eyes, I think it was anyway. So in comes Avanesyan. Now, Avanesyan has been in there with the likes of Crawford, been in there with the likes of Mean Machine, Kabalaskas, and they are, well, Crawford is an elite. Kabalaskas is a world-level fighter, it's fair to say, and he's come up short, quite a bit short against those guys. Down at European level, he's excelled. But the gap from European level to world level, certainly at welterweight, is vast. It is a big, big jump. So I kind of thought, okay, this is going to be a fairly routine fight. It's just a case of how quick does Boots Ennis do it. And Boots Ennis in the first round, literally within the first 20 seconds, he lands a big hard jab on David Avanesyan. And you could see Avanesyan was hurt by that. He was actually hurt by that jab. And you could see, right, this is going to be... Yeah, this is going to be target practice for Boots Ennis. I do feel one of Boots Ennis's biggest... It is a flaw, but is it a gaping, big, massive flaw? Not necessarily. At times in fights, Boots Ennis's one kind of hole in his game would be his defense. Now, he wasn't getting hit with shot after shot in this fight. But I do feel as though he gets so comfy in there, he gets very lackadaisical, and he gets hit with some shots. And sometimes he even lets shots that really he should be blocking get through the guard. Like, he let several jabs from Avanesyan get through. He got hit with a couple of right hands, got hit with a couple of uppercuts, got hit with a couple of left hooks from David Avanesyan. Again, nothing that would necessarily bother him, but stuff that when you go through the levels, when you go up the levels where these guys are a lot more accurate, they hit harder probably, and they can put their shots together, you want to be careful with. You don't want to be getting that laxed in a fight. You don't want to be letting shots that, you could easily block get through. That's the minor nitpick I have about Boots Ennis. In this fight, I will say, honestly, Avanesyan, I would say Avanesyan is a decent size welterweight. Would he be on the bigger end of it? Probably not, no. I think he has fought at 154, if I'm not mistaken. Was Kermit Leharaga at 154? I'm not 100% sure. But he has, Avanesyan is a decent size welterweight, but God... even I was kind of like, whoa. The size difference between Avanesyan and Boots, it was just, that was something else. I can't remember the last time I seen such a big discrepancy in size at welterweight anyway. And you got to bear in mind, Boots is the IBF champion. They have a 10-pound rehydration clause, so obviously that's not affecting him in the slightest. God knows what he's weighing on fight night, because he looked massive in there. Absolutely massive. As I said, round 1, it was Boots Ennis picking the combinations very well. The headshots, the body attack, those body shots were sickening. And he was landing them over and over and over again on David Avanesyan. I don't know how he took them. At the end of the first round, probably with about 50 seconds left to go. Now, basically, Boots Ennis went to launch a combination at the body of David Avanesyan, and Avanesyan kind of pushed his head down a bit. So whilst Boots Ennis's head was down, he launched a big right hand, and it wasn't borderline. This was low, and it looked painful as hell. I mean, most low blows look painful, but this one particularly looked, you just winced when you seen it. The referee, rightly so, said you have 5 minutes. He didn't take the full 5 minutes. He took about 2 or 3 minutes, but you don't tend to see that too often. A lot of the times I think fighters, maybe it's their pride, I don't know, they get hit with a low blow. They probably should take the time. They have 5 minutes. They probably should take it. They take maybe about 15, 20 seconds back at it. That shot, he needed time. I have no issue with him taking, I think it was about 2 or 3 minutes. No real issue with it. The crowd were booing a bit, but at the end of the day, Avanesyan has all the time in the world. Well, he's got 5 minutes. He may as well use it. He's a veteran. He knows that. And I think as well as that, he knew that this round he'd shifted some punishment. So it's not even just that it was a low blow, which looked extremely painful. It's the fact that you want to recover from some of the shots you've already taken, and extra time, it ain't going to hurt. Comes back into it, and again, Boots Ennis finishes the round strong. And that was kind of how the fight went. You really just saw Boots Ennis tee off on Avanesyan, land combinations at will, switch hits seamlessly. I mean, Boots Ennis, when you look at him and you see how, like, the athleticism, the speed, the talent, it looks seamless with Boots Ennis. It really does. You know, when you just see someone, and you do see it with fighters, you see it with great fighters, when they're in cruise control, when they're just in that mode, it looks seamless. It's almost like you're playing an avatar in a video game where it's just seamless. You just know what you're doing. You know the opponent's got no chance, and it just looks like clockwork. It's like that. That's how it looked at times in there for Boots Ennis. And it was exactly the same between rounds 3 through rounds 4. I was looking and thinking, you know, I knew the result when I was watching this fight, but I was kind of thinking, should they not have pulled him out at the end of round 4? Because he was never really in it, and he was shifting some punishment. He was reddening up there a bit, but he came out Avanesyan in round 5. And credit to him, you know. I knew round 5 going into round 6, they stopped the fight. So I was thinking, okay, he's going to shift a hell of a lot of punishment in this round. But he actually came out and was pushing Boots Ennis back in round 5. And he was winning that round up until he got dropped. I was looking at it and I was thinking, why did they pull him out? Because I only just knew the result. I didn't know the ins and outs. I was looking and thinking, why did they pull him out? He's doing very well in this round. You know, he's pushing Boots Ennis back. He's landing plenty of shots on him. Boots Ennis is, for the first time in this fight, actually not looking in trouble or anything like that, but looking like he's going to have to actually have a real think about what's going on. David Avanesyan gets Boots Ennis backed up into a corner, starts throwing some shots. Ennis lands a right hand, lands on the side of Avanesyan's face, down he goes. And I think that shot there, it hurt him, and he was down. And I think that knocked what little fight was left in Avanesyan after that, because you got to figure, you've pretty much put everything you have into this round. And even then, Boots Ennis was still having success prior to the knockdown. You got to think like, right, I'm putting everything into this, and it's still not enough, and now I'm dropped. And Boots Ennis went on after the knockdown to go on and just dominate the remaining 50-odd seconds of the fight. I mean, he really put a beating in that last minute on David Avanesyan. Corner just decided enough was enough. I can't blame them, especially after a round like that, where it's not like you were beating pillar to post for 3 minutes straight, where you were dropped, where you were hit with everything but the kitchen sink, and he was hurting that round. It's the fact that you started it so strong, you gave and you gave and you gave, and then like that, Boots Ennis just one shot and then turns it on, and that's it. All the good work you did is gone. And I think that took the fight right out of Avanesyan. That was it. And that was it. The writing was on the wall at that point, what was going to happen. And sparing him further punishment, they pulled him out. Correct decision, in my opinion. He was never going to win this fight, but god damn, can't critique Avanesyan for that performance. As game as they come. He is as tough as old Boots. He really is. So Boots Ennis moves on. I hope now Eddie Hearn is going to keep him active. I really, truly do. Turki Al-Sheik's been talking about Terence Crawford versus Boots Ennis. I'm kind of... Listen, Turki Al-Sheik is great for boxing. He really is. He's done so much good stuff and will do many more good things. But when he talks about fights that are going to be made, this, that and the other, at this point now, I'm kind of tending to zone out. Because 1 week it's Crawford Canelo, the next week it's Crawford Boots, then it's Crawford Canelo, then it's Crawford Boots, then it's Joshua Fury, even though Fury is fighting Usyk, then it's you know what I mean? He seems to be one of these guys where it's like, A fight just happened. Crawford, Boots Ennis just fought. Right, him against Crawford. Wait and you see. Crawford will fight Majimov now in a few weeks' time, and it'll be Crawford Canelo. Wait and you see. He'll be saying that. That'll be the next thing. So I kind of take what Turkey Al Sheikh says with him. I believe when he says he wants to do these fights. I do believe that, but he'll name one fighter, and then he'll name another, and then he'll replace what you know what I mean. So I kind of just am like, yeah, all right. I would love to see. Don't get me wrong. I'd sooner see, and I know it's a bigger fight, and I can understand why they'll do it. It is a bigger fight, regardless what people say. Canelo Crawford is a bigger fight than Boots versus Crawford. It is, but I would love. I'd prefer to see Crawford Boots. I really would. I think that would be tremendous. And I was looking at Boots in there, and again, I've been impressed with him for many years. I was thinking at welterweight, Crawford really is the man to beat, because I can't see any other welterweight beating this guy. I really can't. I can't see any other welterweight beating him. He's just so flipping talented. It's really going to take for him going up the weights before we start. And even then, I don't think, when I say struggle, I mean be in competitive fights. At welterweight, I genuinely look and think, who's going to beat this guy? He is that talented. So Boots Ennis gets the win. Let's see what he does next. I'll leave it there. Hope you enjoyed the video, people. Smash the like button if you could. Hit subscribe, of course, if you haven't already. Peace.